Hey everybody, it's Scott with Harper Health AZ. Today, I'm going to show you how to make apple cider along with using those apples to make applesauce. Very easy recipe. It just takes some time for everything to cook to really bring out those flavors in the apple cider. So let's jump right into it. Now with this recipe, we are going to need 8 apples. I'm going to be using Jazz apples just because I really enjoy the flavor. You can pretty much use whatever apple you prefer. I definitely would say any of the red ones are going to be a lot better. Here's a list of different types of apples and their type of flavor that they bring out. Jazz apples, I just enjoy eating these ones raw. So I figured why not make it apple cider with it? And when I did before, they turned out great. And then we will be needing a crock pot, or you can do this on the stove. I'm doing a crock pot because we'll be cooking everything for 3 hours in here. And then we'll be taking those apples out of here and making the applesauce with them. First thing we're gonna need to do is cut up our apples. And you will wanna take out all the cores. And if you have an apple core, that could just make it easier for you to get everything taken out. All right, now we got all of our apples all diced up. Of course, if you want to fill your pot with water, you can just throw these in so you don't have a big old mess right here. So the next thing we are going to do is add our 10 cups of water. And now that we have our 10 cups of water in here, we will go ahead and add our apple pieces to it. And the hardest thing for me to do with this is not take little bites of these apples as I'm throwing them in, because I'm bound to lose probably a whole apple if I was to do that. Now, as I always do when I am cooking of any type, is I like to clean up as I go along. So that's what I'm doing right now. All right, so next thing, since I got the counter all cleaned up here, we are gonna add our seasonings. Add 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, or you can use cinnamon sticks for this. And then next we are gonna do 1 tablespoon cloves. And then 1 teaspoon allspice. And then what we can do before we start cooking this one for 3 hours is just kind of mix everything up here. And of course, during the 3 hours, you'll want to do this a couple times just to really get your house smelling good, to be honest. But it's also good to mix up, get all those flavors really going, get them into the apples, because the apples is what we'll be using after to make our applesauce. And I'm gonna put my crock pot on high for 3 hours. And now I can just set this to the side while it gets all warmed up and cooked in there. All right, so now that we have this in here for 3 hours, I'm gonna turn it down to just keep warm. This way I can have it throughout the weekend. And then of course, when I go to bed or leave the house, I'm gonna turn it off, but it's easy to just turn back on and keep warm. I usually end up having 3 to 4 cups of this just in a little coffee cup. So next thing we are gonna do is make our applesauce. Stir this up a little bit. As you can see, it looks very good. The thing I like doing next is taking out those cloves. And this can be a little tedious. You can leave out the cloves so you don't have to worry about this. And I have done it and it just tastes as good in my opinion. And then of course you can just take these, mash them up a little bit and throw them back in. I really like just having the apple cider by itself and making this into applesauce. And just taking out the cloves, just my personal preference on that one. But you guys can of course change this however you want. This is just a great way so you get 2 things out of 1. And the next thing we do is we just wanna blend this guy up, and it's kind of full, so we'll add these ones in once we get these ones going. And now one thing I do like adding once all of this has been cooked is stevia, the liquid one. just to mix it all in there and really bring up a good flavor and sweetness to it all. All right, and now we have a thing of applesauce ready to go. This you can use in baking as a replacement for eggs, or just a nice little snack to have, which is what I've been doing with the one I made previously. And then we have our apple cider, perfect to just pour up into a glass and enjoy. I hope you all enjoyed this apple cider and applesauce recipe. As always, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Definitely subscribe. We are so close to hitting that 250 mark. And until next time, have a great rest of your day.